welcome back to another video here on the one and only Tribal Warrior YouTube channel. And of course, I am the Tribal Warrior, and in today's video, as you see by the thumbnail and as you see by the title, we will be taking a look at AEW, yes, All Elite Wrestling. And it kind of sounds a bit crazy to say because never really at all here on this channel I've covered anything got to do with AEW. I think I done a little YouTube short before talking about Britt Baker potentially coming to the WWE around this time last year. There was rumors, but I've never done an actual proper video where I talk about AEW. So it's a bit crazy, but over the past few weeks or months, I've been kind of thinking about AEW a lot and how I wanted to start watching it, because of course we can all agree that the current product of the WWE isn't at its strongest point right now. So I just kind of wanted to give it a watch to see how things were, just kind of test it out, and I wanted to just look at different wrestling promotions. So yeah, I gave it a watch. I watched Dynamite on June 6th, and oh my god, or sorry, June 3rd, and oh my god, it was amazing. So of course, for those who are kind of normal to the channel or new to the channel, who've never watched AEW before or don't know what AEW is, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is a major professional wrestling company that launched in 2019. So it is fairly new. It was founded by Tony Khan, who still runs the company today as president, CEO, head of creative, and the person who oversees most of the wrestling storylines. AEW is known for focusing on athletic in-ring matches, long-term storytelling, and working with wrestling promotions all around the world. Some of its biggest superstars over the past few years have been MJF, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and of course there's so many others like Mercedes Moné, Tony Storm, for example, Mariah May, who's currently now in the WWE under the name Blake Monroe. She used to be in AEW under the name Mariah May. So yeah, major superstars in AEW, but there's major superstars in the WWE as well. But you see in the picture in front of you, it's AEW versus WWE. I'm not comparing them, but I do feel stronger for one towards the other. So it's not going to be a super long video, but we're just going to touch on AEW because I decided to watch AEW and I kind of had to make a video on it because it truly is electric and an amazing company. So with that being said, let's get into what actually happened this past Wednesday. So of course, this past Wednesday was AEW Dynamite. It was the June 3rd edition of AEW Dynamite. Of course, just like Raw and SmackDown, AEW have two shows each week. They have AEW Dynamite on a Wednesday and AEW Collision on a Saturday. Now, they are both starting at a 1 a.m. start time for the UK. So yeah, I did give AEW Dynamite a watch, and it was really good. The June 3rd edition of Dynamite took place in Virginia and opened with the AEW World Champion defending his title against Rush. Now, if I pronounce any of these names wrong, please forgive me. That was literally my first time watching AEW, so still trying to get used to the boundaries and everything they have. But yeah, it was MJF defending his title against Rush, and of course that is the AEW World Championship, one of the men's biggest championship and most important championship in AEW. So when was the last time you remember the World Championship or the WWE Championship kicking off an episode of Raw or SmackDown? Like, that literally never happens, but it did happen on Dynamite with the AEW World Championship on the line because it was MJF defending the title against Rush in a no count out match. The match was a violent brawl from the start, with both men fighting around ringside and using the relaxed rules to their advantage. Rush pushed MJF harder than most challengers have recently, but the champion survived and ultimately retained when he trapped Rush in a submission hold and Rush passed out rather than submitting. Of course, there's that funny moment I think I can remember where before he passed out, he looked at MJF and he stuck up the middle finger at him, and it was just like a kind of a funny thing we saw where the WWE, you wouldn't see any of this. You wouldn't see cursing and look, don't get me wrong, every time I'm not watching wrestling just to see cursing, but sometimes it does enhance it. It sometimes does make it better. And that's what I just love, because in AEW you can have these big massive pile drivers to the head, but in WWE you couldn't have that. Or the cursing, you can have that in AEW, but in WWE they're gonna beep it out. Or even the simple middle finger. Rush done that, and wow, that was an amazing funny moment. Where in the WWE, the whole screen would literally go blank. They would literally cut it out. So of course, which is, it's kind of stupid, but yeah, we saw that happening. And yeah, after this match, after MJF retained the championship, Mark Briscoe, okay, so could be pronouncing his name wrong, but I think it is Mark Briscoe, confronted the champion MJF and demanded a future world title shot, setting up a potential championship feud going forward. And of course, there are a lot of people throughout the show that I noticed calling out MJF. But of course, the rest of the show and kind of the rest of the week in AEW focused heavily on the Owen Hart Foundation tournament and the road to Forbidden Door. Now we'll talk about Forbidden Door in a minute. It is a PLE for AEW, but yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, of course, the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So, of course, right now in the WWE, we have the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We usually have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal around WrestleMania. And I'm kind of just guessing that this Owen Hart Foundation tournament is obviously representing and showing the legacy of a legend, just like Andre the Giant. So, AEW's version of that is the legendary, the great Owen Hart. So yeah, the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and the winner of the tournament, I'm pretty sure he gets a championship opportunity at like Forbidden Door or something. So I could be wrong, but of course, Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks in the WWE, was revealed as the mystery wildcard entrant, which is basically a mystery opponent, in the women's tournament, and defeated Alex Windsor in her AEW return. So I think this is the first time in like 3 months we saw her in AEW. But yeah, great return. The CEO music was fun as well, because the kind of, I've heard the music online before, the CEO, and it was just kind of catchy. On the other hand, in the men's tournament, Will Ospreay. Oh my god, this is my first episode of AEW, and I already have a favorite superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Will Ospreay, because oh my goodness, what a match between Will Ospreay and Mark Davis. I have never ever heard of Mark Davis before in my life, before AEW Dynamite, and oh my god, my first encounter with him was brilliant. I did not expect this match to be amazing. I didn't know what I was expecting, but I've heard Will Ospreay before. I've heard him before I watched AEW, and I knew he was a big, cool wrestler, but I've never really seen what he can do in the ring. And oh my god, it was the main event of AEW Dynamite. Will Ospreay, Mark Davis. It was a chaotic match of the year semi-final filled with interference and faction warfare, and it was just spectacular. I really already think this is a match of the year contender. It was amazing, and Will Ospreay ended up defeating Mark Davis. But give flowers to these two, give them a pay raise. That was absolutely amazing. And of course, Will Ospreay have now I'm pretty sure earned a place in the tournament final. I don't know who it's against yet, but it was really electric. Elsewhere on Dynamite, Kevin Knight, who is the TNT champion, he retained the title against Mike Bailey. I have heard of Mike Bailey before from TNA, of course the NXT and TNA partnership. I've saw him once or twice. But yeah, he's in AEW now. But yeah, Speedball, Mike Bailey, lost his match against Kevin Knight. And also during this match, or actually before the match, Kevin Knight was revealed that he had joined the Don Callis family. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Don Callis family. So yeah, new member to the Don Callis family. Don't know who it is. I don't even know who Don Callis is, or even if that's just the name or a person. But yeah, welcome to the family, Kevin. Also, we saw Andre El Idolo, formerly known as Andrade in the WWE. Of course, I made a breaking news video on my channel a couple of months ago talking about Andrade leaving the WWE, but now he's in AEW under the name Andrade El Idolo. He also declared his interest in pursuing the AEW World Championship. By the end of the night, AEW had advanced several major stories heading into Forbidden Door on this summer season, and this was amazing. I loved every single second of this show. It was spectacular. Please give Dynamite a watch this Wednesday, guys. It was electric. One of the best weekly shows I have watched in a long time. It was amazing. I cannot wait to see this Wednesday's edition. So yes, if you guys want to watch AEW in the future, this is the part to pay attention to. And I'll be paying attention to this as well, because I will be watching AEW in the future because it was so amazing. So yeah, upcoming AEW shows. So as I mentioned, AEW has a regular television schedule, which is the same as Raw and SmackDown, basically meaning weekly shows. And those weekly shows is AEW Dynamite every single Wednesday with a UK BST IST start time of 1 a.m. In America, I do not know what that is. I think it's like 8 p.m. at night. And then AEW Collision, which is every single Saturday at 1 a.m. Same thing, UK time, BST IST, every Saturday, AEW Collision. I'm pretty sure that's like 8 p.m. American time. In terms of future shows, the next few weeks will continue building toward the crossover pay-per-view between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2026, which is AEW's next major event. So the WWE call their big shows PLEs. I think AEW just calls theirs PPVs, which is pay-per-views. So yeah, Forbidden Door, June 28th, Sunday, June 20th. I don't really like Sunday PLEs, but I'll deal with it because it's the first PPV I will be watching for AEW. So hopefully they're not always going to be on a Sunday, but we'll see how things go. But of course, yeah, Forbidden Doors, Sunday, June 28th, CMLL or CMLL, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Stardom. Those four promotions are all on the show, I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it goes because, of course, AEW has loads of partnerships with different shows. But after Forbidden Door, the attention, yes, ATTENTION, will increasingly turn toward AEW All in August at Wembley Stadium here in London, traditionally AEW's biggest show of the year. So All In is basically AEW's WrestleMania, so the biggest show of the year, and it is in London. It is in Wembley Stadium, and that is so good for me because that will have a great start time at like 5 o'clock in the evening. So even if it is on Sunday, that's completely good. I do not have to stay awake until like 1 a.m. for that. That will be on here early. But of course, if you guys want to watch AEW, look at the bottom right of your screen right now. You can watch AEW on myaew.com. Obviously, like everything else in the world, you have to pay for myaew.com. You have a monthly subscription or an annually prescription. I'm not too sure on how it fully works. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's where you can watch all the weekly shows, Dynamite, Collision, and the pay-per-views. Of course, there's always other ways out there as well, but I'm pretty sure all those other ways are illegal. So I'll be careful with what you guys do. I'm gonna let you guys pick. But yeah, myaew.com is the best way to watch AEW. I 100% recommend it. I also made this little poster here talking about the best wrestling shows today. I put all 6 wrestling shows that I watched into this little poster just to kind of compare things out. So I said, what is the best wrestling show today as of the making of this video? So of course, that's that little poster there. You have the show on the left hand side, and you have the ranking on the right hand side between 1 to 6. 1 is the best show, and 6 being the worst show currently in the wrestling industry. So first place, AEW Dynamite. Literally electric. That Will Ospreay and Mark Davis match. Oh, it was great. NXT, I do watch NXT. I don't cover much here on the channel, but yeah, I do watch NXT. It's always amazing. The future stars are going to be amazing. We have Naraku, who just debuted. We have Mason Rook, who's an incredible, bright future star. So many young, amazing talents there. I think it's like Eli Knight or something down there. Or Eli Prosper. Of course, we also have Lola Vice, the NXT Women's Champion, Tony D'Angelo, Men's Champion. The Speed Championships are fun too. So yeah, very great showdown in NXT. So that's my second favorite show. Then third favorite show is AAA. AAA, and it's just so good. Of course, Lucha Libre in Mexico. So fun. Of course, last weekend I'm pretty sure was the Mask versus Mask match, El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano at Noche de los Grandes week 2. We just witnessed Noche de los Grandes week 2. The Mask versus Mask was week 1, sorry. But yeah, AEA, oh, there's so many letters now. AAA, AAA, is definitely fun. There's just incredible wrestlers on that show. Now, I am kind of stuck between 3rd and 4th place. I didn't know that was probably the hardest to pick. I was thinking to put Raw in 3rd place, but I was like, no, AAA is always amazing. Where Raw, you can have some flukes. So I threw Monday Night Raw there in 4th place. And yeah, sometimes it can be an amazing show, or other times it can be the worst show. So yeah, the current Europe crowd is backing Raw up. It is good. Obviously, you have stars like Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, Oba Femi on Raw. So yeah, Raw is always kind of entertaining, but sometimes you do have flukes or boring moments when you have the same match week and week again. For example, the Judgment Day versus Bayley and Lara Valkyria. It's getting a bit repetitive, but sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's boring. Then in 5th place, AEW Collision. I didn't talk about Collision much in today's video, but I did watch Collision. That main event, that women's match was amazing too. It was really fun. But yeah, AEW Collision was great. Another amazing show. But do I think it's better than Raw? I think it could be, but sometimes Raw is better, and I'm going to put Raw in 4th place just because I've only watched AEW Collision once. So we'll see how things play out. But yeah, Collision 5, and then finally 6th place, Friday Night SmackDown. Holy crap, it's the worst show in the world. SmackDown, it is so bad. Fridays, the end of the week, we all love Fridays. Then we turn on SmackDown, worst Friday of the year. So it's just boring at this point. Sometimes it's the repetitive stuff. Sometimes it's the lack of booking. I might make a video on this next week talking about how bad SmackDown is. I made a couple of videos in 2025 talking about how bad SmackDown is. But at this point, SmackDown is just week after week, bad versus bad. And they should really, 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 really improve it. So yeah, that's the worst show. Nothing good about it. So that's why it's in 6th place. But yeah, guys, if you want to watch any of these shows, Dynamite on Wednesday, NXT on Tuesday, AAA on Saturday, Raw on Monday, Collision on Saturday, and on Friday we have SmackDown. So guys, comment down below your favorite weekly wrestling shows. And that's all I got for you guys in today's video. AEW, it is amazing, guys. Please give it a watch, myaew.com. And I would also like to say a huge, massive thank you to Jason Rain. Jason Rain is a TikToker. He is has his Discord channel. He is really amazing. He got me invested into myaew.com and AEW. And it's literally because of him I'm watching AEW. So yes, huge thank you to Jason Rain. You are amazing. Go follow him up on all of his social medias. He deserves it. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, remember to always stay tribal.